people, their lives are changing. We're flying high, creating a complaint-free world. No more complaining. People, their lives are changing. We're flying high, creating a complaint-free world. No more.
So this is the one that I love to talk about, and that's power. Why? One of the reasons that people complain. Why? And I've really given this a lot of thought, and I've done a lot of research into this, so much that I totally nerd out on this particular aspect. But I like to call it enrage and engage. If I come up to you and say that I want to help do something in the world, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you might choose to participate. You might choose to work with me. You might choose to follow me. However, if I come up to you and I stomp your foot, you're going to chase me. That is enrage and engage. People complain for power. People complain to get other people on their side. Ultimately, it really comes down to people and nuclear weapons, don't get me wrong, but numbers of people. That is always taken into account as a primary determinant of power. People, numbers of followers. People look at this Facebook page and they go, wow, he's got 44,000 followers, and my YouTube page with 3,000 and downloads podcast 50,000. And then all of a sudden, what I have to say takes on a lot more importance. Doesn't mean it's any better. It just means it's that idea of the clout concept. So people ultimately make power. Now, who has the biggest followers? The most numbers of followers? Who in podcast world has the most number of listeners? It's the angry, complaining people on either side. Don't get me wrong. It is the angry, complaining people. Because if you can find something and agitate something that somebody already has by complaining, a belief, a mindset, and you can agitate it, you can make it grow like a spark into a fire, and then they come to consider you to be, well, the term is actually attractive character. It means the leader of a movement or the person that people listen to. And the more you upset people, the more you engage them. The more you enrage them, you engage them. And we see this in families. I used to complain to my mother about my brothers just so I could have more authority. I could limit their enjoyment so that I could have, in my mind, more by them being punished. People complain for power. People complain. In that case, I hope you understand, I was complaining to get my mother on my side. It's all about getting people on your side. Aren't you sick and tired of blank is a great headline because it attracts people. It makes a lot of people. Everybody's sick and tired of something. Yes, I am. Let me read what the rest of it is. Not so much. Or if you read it and go, yes, I am sick and tired of this, then all of a sudden you're engaged. I think this is very natural, actually. It has been a way for us to move the herd in directions that are more towards safety, health, and prosperity over time. Because if we are upset about something, and if there is something legitimate to be upset about, to move people in a certain direction, like right now, global climate change, that is something that people are making other people aware of. And when we do this, we move people towards the idea that we want to go. And what we don't realize is that, take this in, you are already moving in the direction, making choices, doing things, not doing things based on things that people have said and inspired you to do through many times complaining. Ain't it awful? Ain't it awful? All politics is based on complaining. You wouldn't have a political campaign if you didn't have a complaint. Nobody ever says, hey, send me up to Washington to keep things going just like they are, because things are great. No, it's always they're scoundrels and scallywags until they're on the hill. And it's crazy. And we fall for it time and time again. Complaining for power. Complaining for power. I want to share with you a technique that if you've got two people, like friends maybe, that are complaining for power. And as I say this, it just occurred to me, I need to practice what I preach, because I mentioned to you the other day, I know a man and his son that live together out, and they complain about each other when they're not around each other. And I need to actually say this myself. And here's the words. You ready? It sounds like you two have a lot to talk about. And then you just smile. Sounds like the two of you have a lot to talk about. And then just smile. It subtly lets that person know that you're not going to get swayed in one way or the other over their complaining. And also that their issues are their issues. Sounds a little harsh. Try asking what's going well, as I suggested in a previous JumpStart several times, or what do you like about that person? And otherwise just say, sounds to me like the two of you have a lot to talk about. People complain and other people follow. I actually saw this in I think it was King of the Hill episode the other day, where somebody is yelling about this and somebody else goes, since you are loud and angry, I feel the need to follow you. That is so spot on. That's what we do as people. So be aware of the fact that you might already be doing it, all right? I'm going to start a new tradition, and this is your opportunity to click share. Let's spread this positive community that we're building here. Click share right now so that your friends and family know that they and other people around them might be complaining for power. And while you do that, I want to tell you of something new that I'm going to start doing. And that is, I'm going to give you an inspirational song of the day. And I'm going to invite everyone who listens to this, whenever you listen to this, if it's in the future or whatever, when you hear this, go and I'm going to put a link to this from YouTube. But today, we're going to listen to the song I'm Good by the Mowglis. Think about the fact that if we all consciously chose one positive song, this audience of somewhere between 500 and 5,000, depending on the day, and just put that into our consciousness and took that out into the world, running through our head. The song, once again, is I'm Good. I'm Good, and it's by the Mowglis, Mowglis. Awesome. David is the first one to click share. Anybody got a question or a comment about power that you'd like to make, whether it be in politics or families? Oh, the amazing thing is this is so true in churches. In my brief tenure as a church minister, watching people complain, they would build little cliques that, there were people who wanted to remove the steeple from the church because it was a New Thought church and it looked like an evangelical church. And then there were people who were like, oh, don't you dare strip my church of its steeple. And just watching people develop these factions, and they complain about the issues. It's interesting. First, they complain about the issues for power. Then they start complaining about the people in the other groups to maintain power. And it works every time. Hey, song of the day. Do you know the song, Jennifer? Awesome. That's what we're going to do. And I want you to suggest some songs of the day. Don't overwhelm me. I've got a bunch of them I want to share with you first. I've been building lists and I will share them with you. And if you've got some, love to hear them. And I'll give you an opportunity to share those with me. And then that'll be the song of the day. So once again, Linda, thank you so much for sharing Song of the Day. Song of the day. I'm good. Mowgli's, and I got about a 95% that is spelled correctly. Give Peace a Chance by John Lennon. That's an awesome one. Thank you, David. I will certainly add that to our list. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. I look forward to being with you tomorrow. Find a way to be happy today. Put this song on. I was listening right before we went on. This wasn't working. What you're seeing right now was not working. And I won't go into the details. And then you can still see my door jamb over here. But nothing was working. And so I said to my Amazon device that I will not name, play that song, I'm Good by the Mowgli's. And boy, did it keep me going and feeling good. So make that your song of the day. Enjoy today, everybody. Thank you so much for being with me. And I look forward to being with you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
No more complaining people. Their lives are changing. We're flying high, creating a complaint-free world. No more complaining people. Their lives are changing. We're flying high, creating a complaint-free